all right. I don't know if any of y'all have done this.
Oh God.
But to get your mind straight and not think, about ladies or whatever you're into, you got to think about baseball. Baseball's the most boring thing to think about. and you going to go straight back down. See, y'all know what I'm talking about. Think about baseball.
This man is
you will be
wreck.
perfectly fine.
You are a wreck,
There
sir.
you go.
It's true. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah. I mean, all right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Everybody Gets One.
Say that like you mean it.
I said it like I meant it.
Start again. Don't ever disrespect the hey, everybody. Don't
Right.
disrespect that.
Fine. Hey, motherfuckers.
No.
I like that. I like that. You should let that one ride.
I'm gonna let that run. Yeah. Don't pause me again. I gotta get my serious face on. Anyway. Hey, motherfuckers. Welcome to Everybody Gets One. We're four blurs sit together and talk about pop culture.
And niggers.
And niggas too. And we have a special guest today, Montel, Mr. Navy himself.
Greetings and salutations, fellow blurs and blurticorns. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Thank you for having me on there, little brother.
Hey, no problem, man. So today, not forget, we got Mr. Problematic and we got Mr.
Mr. Sleepyhead.
Mr. Sleepyhead, Mr. Ang himself. Rio.
Ang in the flesh.
I'm awake.
Yeah. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about Lovecraft Country, episode 1 and 2. So this is some pretty heavy stuff in the first 2 episodes. It's only getting weirder and weirder as things go on right now. But to set things off, the episode starts out for episode 1 starts out in the year of 1954. It starts in black and white during the Korean War with Atticus, our main character, fighting in the trenches. And as the scene plays out, it starts to slowly fade into color. This is basically even though Atticus fought in the war for his country, his country still sees him as a lesser human being.
You mean as a nigger?
As a nigger? Yeah.
There you go.
So as Atticus looks up in the sky, he sees like a flying saucer, and it opens up, and a red colored female descends.
You can say a red-colored Asian woman. You can say it.
I was thinking more magenta.
Rio doesn't care.
I was thinking more magenta. She's
Magenta.
No, magenta Asian woman.
All right. So an Asian alien comes down from the saucer. I mean, that's basically what she is. And out of nowhere, Cthulhu, it's basically like a giant octopus with like a whole bunch of eyes or whatever.
Why do you know the name of that?
It's a creature.
It's pronounced Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Yeah. Cthulhu. Yeah.
Oh, he couldn't help it. Accent.
Oh, shut up. So out of nowhere, Jackie Robinson, with his back, kills Cthulhu, and basically, and this is where Atticus wakes up on a bus. He's at the back of the bus riding back to his hometown, and basically that book. He wakes up reading a book, The Princess of Mars, which basically talks about John Carter, that movie that flopped a long time ago. So as he's getting off the bus, he has to walk further down to his city, and doing this, he's with this older black woman, and they're discussing, their livelihoods and hopes and dreams and stuff like that. And so he mentions to her that he joined the army to get away from his father. And his father is the same reason why he came back into town, because he's missing. So there's that whole mystery right there that, that we're being brought into, that the viewers have to try to figure out along the way. So, like, with this first episode, what did you guys think about like everything as a whole?
I honestly love what they're doing with this because I have been a fan of H.P. Lovecraft's lore. I like the world that he's created with Cthulhu and the Great Old Ones, and the organizations that are either trying to harness the power or defend it, and then it goes into the games and things like that. And I love that, but I love the fact of the irony of the series because here we have someone who has proven time and time again, especially with the poem, of being a racist. So now we have a series where the cast is 98.5% black and killing it. Every single role, every part. I love how it started out because I was hoping it would have had a eye-catching opening, but the dream sequence alone really caught me. It really, really caught me. Come on, Jackie Robinson taking a ball back to Cthulhu, one of the great omens that no one can kill, bruh. You know you can only put a black man in that role. Just piss off all the white people. Sorry.
No. Rio, what did you think about the first episode? Like the opening of it.
Oh yeah, the opening was immediately pulls you in. Immediately pulls you in. It doesn't matter what your culture, ethnic background, whatever. It was jarring. You're kind of like, okay, what the hell is going on here? Where do you even go from here? And it pushes on. It does after that moment. The episode is slow. So like when I recommend it to people, I say the opening is gonna pull you in. I said it's gonna slow down. The water's gonna go calm. But the purpose for that is to establish the world and kind of get you relaxed. The way the episode is, the way it plays out, it definitely pushes and pulls you. So it's got to establish the characters, it's got to establish the tone, it's got to establish the time period, and then by the end of the episode, it goes ahead and starts shaking you again. But I'll get there when we get to that point. But yeah, I thought it was as long as you've got the patience, it plays out very well. The first episode it'll bring you into the series, and in the second episode, I'm just saying that it does not slow down.
All right, Mr. Problematic, Mr. Nigga himself. What's going on? What you think about the opening?
That was a horrible name. Try it though. I'll give you an A for effort.
What you think about the opening of the first episode?
Not even the opening. The first episode was perfect. That was perfectly fine. I have no issues with the first episode. Like Rio said, the weird ass beginning of the first episode, perfect. I don't mind the slowdown in the first episode because, you know, it literally has to show you where you are, what time period it's in, establish all the characters, but they still had a threat there. So, you know, like there's two threats. You know, you got, of course, your racism. You got your southern white people calling everybody niggers. You know, you got to deal with that, and then you got to deal with this outside force that's also a threat. So, first episode was perfectly fine. My only problems is the placement of the second episode, but we'll get there when we get there.
We then jump into Chicago where we meet Atticus's Uncle George and his wife Hippolyta, but in the show they call her Hippolyta.
What? Hepatitis?
Okay. Oh
yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah,
really?
nah. Hippolyta. So we get introduced to them pretty much waking up and fucking.
You can't. I can't argue that. I mean, if you're gonna make it relatable, make it relatable. You in bed with your boo.
I know.
You don't want to get out of bed.
Try and get a piece, man. So, but before they did that, though,
I'll be too tired for all that.
Oh,
woke up, man. God damn it! I'm never eggs and bacon first.
I'm never too tired for that. Let's go.
Oh my god! Before they did the deed, they were discussing pretty much the safe Negro travel guide, which Uncle George is pretty much he's either a contributor or he's a writer of the book.
He's the writer. He was the creator of that.
of the Green
Yeah.
Book.
Basically. Yeah. So they're in there like discussing because Hippolyta wants to contribute. She wants to travel around and do what he does. But he basically tells her that the world right now is not safe for a black woman to travel around alone to all these places. So she pretty much just has to write articles based off of his notes when he travels around. So she puts the idea in his head like, hey, I want to do this. Will you let me do this? So I can contribute more because, based off my notes, my stuff could be better than yours because you gave me your notes. Like, you see how good my writing is because of your notes. But, when I do it on my own, it's going to be better. So then a little bit later, we get introduced to my baby girl, Journey Smollett, who plays Letty Lewis. And if some of y'all don't know, she's also related to Juicy Smollett.
Oh my
Yes.
Oh, just about to ask. She related to Juicy.
Yeah,
Juicy Smouillet.
Okay.
She related to Juicy.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to her character, and so I find it that her friendship comes with a ulterior motive. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Alex?
I'm wary of her because she related to Juicy Smouillet, but continue on.
So basically her character, like she seems like she's a gypsy. She bounces from place to place, asking people if they can stay here, asking for money. Like she gets what she wants and then she leaves, basically. So I'm curious to see how long she's gonna pretty much last with this with Lovecraft. When she gets what she wants, will she bounce out, or will she stay?
That is
I think she's gonna have character development. She's a main character, so she'll progress as a character, and she'll I think she's gonna be more than just a damsel in distress, which she's already kind of proven. She's streetwise, she's street smart. She knows how to get out of situations or not stay in a bad situation, which you see in both episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, she can definitely carry her own.
Yeah.
Montel?
I see her coming into her own during this. I don't see her disappearing anytime soon. But as a quick segue, we did forget about one character who I believe is going to have an integral part in all this. Tick's little cousin.
Yeah, I think she might too. All her drawings and everything. She's real good.
Come on. This isn't some little girl who just drawing pictures of pretty things. She made comic books. Every time he went out on one of his trips, she wrote a comic book. And today was that particular day was the day that she changed up, where the protagonist is a female astronaut. And I said, there's significance there. There has to be. I mean, think about this. You have a beautiful black child who can draw. She could draw anything. What does she do? She creates comic books. And I said, that right there is saying something about this.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fact that she drew on the maps.
Yeah.
She would draw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That has to matter. That has to matter for
Yeah.
something. I think she might like influence where certain things are, where creatures might pop up, or she might have some type of influence on this entire.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see later down the road, but we also get a conversation between Atticus and Uncle George about their father, Atticus' father, Montrose, who's pretty much missing. Nobody knows where he is, but he basically sent Atticus a letter saying that he has a birthright to he has a certain birthright, and talks about his secret ancestor, which we'll later find out in episode 2. But that is some like weird shit going on right there too.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, the three of them, Uncle George, Atticus, and Letty, they all head out and they pretty much go to was it Artem? They try to search for Artem, where Montrose mentioned that a location in his letter. So they set out and they try to find Artem, and they end up stopping at this restaurant, which was recommended by their uncle. And once you get there, the restaurant is white owned. This was something that was written in the guidebook, which was recommended by his uncle. Now it was white owned. The clerk or the rep said that they were out of town or something like that. You know.
Well, white owned.
Yeah,
by force.
Yeah.
White owned, like
I know.
Oh yeah, we sold our business.
I know.
White owned as we burnt down your business.
Yeah. So
made it ours.
You notice in the show when they pull up, you notice the business next door was boarded up and burnt up.
Exactly, it was torched. If you pay attention to it, yep.
This is where Lydia's is supposed to be. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's a moment.
So Atticus asked the question, why was the White House painted white? So Montel, you want to answer that question?
Because when the British took over and they would rehome the place, that's how they covered up the burn marks and the char marks from the parts of the White House that were not damaged. And you notice in the show, just as he answered the question, he pulled back that floorboard. You saw that char mark. I said, y'all need to get the hell on out of here.
Yeah. At which point, Letty comes out from the back room because she went to the bathroom before, and she heard the what you call him?
The waiter. Yeah,
the waiter called the cops and said, I didn't serve them. They just came in and they sat down. And so now she's like, y'all better get up and get the fuck out of here. So that's what they do. She ends up being the MVP of the episode because she's a fucking good ass driver.
Now, mind you, can we point out, and I would say any lady that can run 5.3 miles in 2 seconds in heels is the true MVP. You see how she dashed from the back to the front? Man, in regular flat shoes would be struggling right now. And Uncle Jordan, let me drive. Get your ass in the car.
Yeah. So now they're on the road. They're being chased by 2 cars filled with white people shooting at them left and right. They pretty much dodging. Atticus got his father's gun that he picked up from the house and pretty much was shooting back. And at which point we see the silver car pull up the road. It's like on the opposite side because the streets roads merge together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they converge.
So Letty's pretty much timing her speed to pretty much be a little bit faster than the silver car, so the silver car can get in between the white people shooting at them and then being in front. So this happens at a pretty good precision. Like everything works out the way that she planned. And for some reason, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the car chasing Letty and the group, it flips over. It flips over the silver car.
It never hits it.
But it never hits it. It was like maybe 2 or 3 feet away.
Yeah.
So I had to rewind that back.
That's what you call a force shield. That's what you call an archaic force shield. Because I saw that. I did like you. I ran back 2 or 3 times and said, wait, did they hit it? And I saw it. I was like, oh my God, it's something out of the Avengers. Activate the force shield. And there it goes.
Yeah. So they all stop and to see what the hell happened. And this white woman comes out of nowhere, which would later get introduced later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that force field scene was basically foreshadowing something that happens in the next episode. Yeah. Well, that is used often in the next episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we thought that this was, the group was safe. Then they end up getting lost in the woods trying to find this hidden road somewhere on the map. They start arguing. They pull off to the side of the road, and then after they pulled over, maybe like 2 minutes.
Hold on. We gotta address something here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Now, the uncle, is the one who made this guidebook, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're traveling around using notes that he's made up.
No. I know where you're going. Go ahead. I know where you're going.
What the fuck? That's what I'm going. You took down some of these notes, all right? You got some of these. Well, he did get some tips from other people, right? He got tips.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'm not going on the side of the road looking for. If we spinning around in circles in white people country, we need to get the fuck out of here. We don't have time to sit on the side of the road hunting down for that shit. They should have kept it moving.
I agree with you on that one, especially when he mentioned before. He's like, "Well, I got these. This was a recommendation from so and so, and I'm sitting there thinking, you realize that all the information you have has a shelf life, especially during the 1950s, because if you's black, you's going to be subjugated, and that's exactly what happened. Because Lydia's, and the minute they realized it wasn't Lydia's, why did you stop?
Exactly. I would have just kept moving, kept it pushing.
Oh, look, it's not Lydia's. Well, we can go to the next town. That's exactly what it.
And then they sat in the diner. They see the white people staring at y'all looking crazy. You sat down in the chairs, right? They looking at you like you are some type of bat out of hell. Just staring at you like, what is this? Dude gets up and dips. You should have known right then and there. It's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm not staying there.
You asked for 3 coffees. He ain't bring you no damn coffee.
He ain't bring you nothing.
Bring you nothing.
No, not a lick. You talking about, oh, them biscuits and gravy smell good. Smell
but
your ass out that diner and get on out, because they got.
He did get something out of it though. He did get something out of it. He stole. He took
bullets.
No, he took some of the candy before they left.
So now they look like thieves. He stole some candy, and you getting shot at.
Blitz, you blitz the candy. You get chased by a Chevy pickup and a fire truck. I'm sorry, I laughed so hard when you getting chased by a damn fire truck. Really?
I would say that was the most tense part of one of the most tense parts of the episode of episode 1. But we get introduced to Sheriff Hunt, right?
Eustace Hunt.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, you said they were going by the side of the road.
Yeah. So the police car pulls up behind them.
Pulls up.
And, he tells them, he says, you in the car, which is Uncle George, you in the car, come out, because Lydia and Atticus are already outside the car. And the police, Sheriff Hunt tells them to come to the back of the car or whatever. So he tells them, say, what are you guys doing here? This is a sundown town. Oh, county.
Yeah, Sundown County.
Sundown County. And he was like, sun sets at 7:49, something like that. So they only had like 7 minutes left, right? So by doing all of this and knowing how much time they have left, he's also winding down the time by talking to them even more. So they have even less time to get out.
Oh yeah. You knew that's what he was going to do, and it just literally built him up as being the main antagonist for that episode. But I will say this: Tick did not make the matters any easier.
Nah.
He wanted to be confrontational. You could tell he wanted so hard to go at him because he knew who he was, okay.
Should have just shut the hell up so they can get the hell out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
now he had to turn around and say, "Can this smart nigga?"
No. But before
make
that,
a U-turn. He should have never said nothing.
Yeah, he said that. It's like, is it legal to make a U-turn here? And then the sheriff was like, "Well, I like you. Well, if you ask nicely, maybe I'll let you go."
He said, "Please," and then he made him give him that long diatribe. He said, "Please."
Yeah.
No. You got to do better than that. I want you to say, and you let this smart nigga make a U-turn. And Tick is going, fuck.
That's when he knew they were screwed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No, not that part. Because the thing is, once the sheriff lets him on the way, the sheriff is pretty much behind him. But the thing is, the speed limit on the road is 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
So they couldn't even go above 25 because, they'll be pulled over for speeding.
Yeah, legally, technically, yeah. If you go 1 mile over, I can pull you over.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a tense moment because as they're driving and you see Hunt behind them, just antagonizing them, hitting the bumper and speeding up to try to make them speed up. You kept seeing the sun, and I'm going, oh boy. I know they're gonna make it, but it's still tense. And I love the show. They continue to create that atmosphere that you don't want anything to happen to them, but you know something's gonna happen.
Yeah. So they end up crossing the railroad tracks, which is basically like the city line, the city border.
Limits.
Yeah. So once they do that, you think everything is all safe, everything's all dandy, but then 5 minutes after they're still driving, you know, they can't even catch their breath because you got like 2 or 3 police cars with police officers with shotguns outside of the car just waiting for them.
And here come Hunt right behind them.
Yeah. So then pretty much the police officers pretty much tell them to go into the woods because this is basically where they're pretty much going to kill them off. And y'all think that this is pretty much the end of the first episode.
That sheriff called in.
Yeah, he called the next county.
That robot.
Yeah.
Because he know he can't cross over there.
Yeah. So they get pushed down to the ground. Atticus is like, please, Sheriff Hunt, like, if you look at the the registration of the car is legal. Everything that's in that car is ours. We didn't steal nothing, right? So Hunt is like, how do you know my name?
Mm-hmm. And that's where we let Atticus. That's when we find out Atticus is a little too smart for his own good.
Yeah. Well, he could just say I read the newspaper, but then that would probably make him mad because they're like, this nigger know how to read.
Yeah, there's nothing more dangerous than a smart nigga. But yeah, after that, tension starts to flare up and they start hearing shit in the woods.
You hear the chittering in the woods.
Yeah.
What was that? It was a wolf. Ain't no damn wolf sound like that.
That was a dumbass thing to say. Oh man, I think it's a wolf. Come on, man. Are you on something? If a wolf sound like that to you, you high.
First of all, the wolf sound like that. You need to get the hell on because them jokers is infected. Okay, I haven't seen too many movies where you see animals infected. They don't sound like they normally sound. Just like Resident Evil dog. What is that? Why are you asking? Why are we looking at and asking? Get the hell out of here.
Exactly.
Out of nowhere, one of the police officers get dragged and then the other one just gets bit in half by some four-legged creatures. Well, no.
That was Shoggoths.
Those are what?
Those are called Shoggoths.
Shoggoths.
Explain them. Yes.
Shoggoths in Lovecraft lore are the footmen for the great older ones and the ones in between. And they're considered soldiers. They are four-legged. They have multiple eyes. As you can see from the scene last night, what they look like is exactly what they were. They are hunting dogs and soldiers for the higher beings in the hierarchy.
You said four legs. In the second episode, you saw they have like four arms and legs that you can see, right? But then they also have these 2 other things coming out their chest that looks like
tentacles,
like arms. Those okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There was a tentacle. Cthulhu, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft I think he had this fascination with tentacles. Anybody has a fascination with tentacles, I'm a little scared because I know friends of mine who are in anime. It's like, I love tentacles. I'll not eat calamari around you. You
Stay away from me.
So are those things like his version of vampires, which is gonna lead farther into the episode?
No, the comparison has been made before, but because they didn't start out human. Unfortunately, one of the side effects. Now, if you think about it from lore from a vampire, if you get bitten by a vampire, it takes a little bit of time before you become one. Maybe an overnight, they're dead and then they resurrect. But in the show and also in lore, if you get bitten by a Shoggoth, it's almost instantaneous because now it's going through your system, whatever is in them. And
cheap way to recruit new soldiers.
Yeah. I mean, which pretty much leads us to when shit start popping off, they find this cabin in the woods. You got like what, 2 officers survived, Sheriff Hunt and one of the deputies or whatever. Like at this point, Sheriff Hunt has already been bitten. He's already been bitten, and he starts to
half his arm is like dangling off.
Yeah.
When I watched it the second time, I'm like, he
like,
ain't
how
just
you
get
not
bit.
feeling pain?
He got
got
chewed
no
up.
shoulder,
he got
bro.
chewed open.
You got no shoulder. That shoulder was gone.
A half-bitten
Yeah.
hot dog.
So while he's like starting to begin his transformation, his uncle was like, Atticus, I think you need to see this shit.
He said, "You need to shoot this motherfucker."
Yeah. He told the deputy, he was like, I think you need to shoot this motherfucker right here. And he just couldn't do it. But while this is going on, Letty, she ran her ass to the car.
What?
She bolted her ass to the car.
Have you ever run like that before, where you were so terrified
Yes,
that the
from a
last thing
dog.
you thinking about is your breathing? Because way she was running, I said, I've run like that before, where you just want to keep going. You going through reserves of air you know you had. Oh,
Yeah.
That's what that adrenaline will do to you.
I know.
Ask Rio all them battles he been in.
You don't believe anything Alex says.
Rio was spec ops in the military. He refuses to tell us what he actually did over there, but you know it is what it is.
He's not gonna say it, but you know he prefers to sleep on the floor than the bed.
Yeah, that's another thing.
oh my goodness.
In a couple battles, it's okay.
It's all right, Rio.
Definitely was in one last night. That's why he's like,
Yeah, but we ain't gonna get into that.
Y'all are really giving this man a hard time.
True, he was in the military.
Well, I was too, but good grief.
But
he was
he
in
did some
different branch.
things. He did some things.
You guys were in different branches, Montel. Different branch.
In a branch you're not supposed to hear of.
Yeah.
Don't mean I didn't do things. I'm just saying.
That's right.
That's why.
So you're admitting now, Rio. That's right. Okay.
I'm giving respect to the real vet.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot. You're not supposed to take any honors or anything. You're the silent hero.
So at this point, Letty reaches the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
She tries to start it up. It takes a few seconds, and the monster just appears right in front of her. And we come to find out that they are pretty much afraid of light.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the term why they call them vampires. Well, his uncle thought he was a vampire. So Sheriff Hunt has already finished his transformation. He's killed the deputy that's inside. Atticus tries to get the gun. He got the gun. He shoots the sheriff in the back, shoots him in the front, and no more bullets left, right? So then out of nowhere, Letty saves the day by pretty much beeping the horn and pretty much ramming the vehicle into the cabin, which pretty much saves Uncle George and Atticus. Come to find out, they have at least like 30 flares in that car. I'm like, where did all these flares come from? They're popping off these flares and throwing it in the woods, and then you see like at least 15 of these like creatures just surrounding them. And then we come to the end of the episode where they hear a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So you know they're being controlled by something or someone. And at this point, it's already daylight, and they're pretty much walking to Artem, this mansion in Artem. And when they knock on the door, they greeted with this white guy that was like, "Welcome, Mr. Freeman." And cut scene. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Number one. Okay, before we end this, number one. Some white man opened up that door at that time, at that day and age. I'm running.
Well, no.
I'm running
And they
in the
know your
opposite
name.
direction. I don't
They know
care.
your name too.
I do not care. That's more reason to run. You know my name. You're a white man in the middle of the woods. I'm covered in blood and I'm black. I'm running immediately. I'm not going in that house, but go on.
And that dude look kind of crazy to me.
Exactly. Would you go in that house?
Nah.
Who would go in that house? Let's be real. Out of the four of us, who going in that house?
Fuck that house.
You know my name. I'm covered in blood. I'm black. It is 60? 19.
You're not scared. It's 1950.
1954. 1954. I'm black. covered in blood. A white man opens the door, and he knows my name. I'm running.
A well-dressed white man, no doubt.
Exactly. I'm running.
And we come to find out he's not even a butler.
No, he's like, good afternoon, Mr. Freeman. Welcome home.
There's nothing more scary than somebody being kind to you.
Yeah.
Wow, we will walk to the next motherfucking county. I don't care. What?
But you forget, though, they have to reach that next county by nightfall.
Yeah, so they're
Okay, I'll sleep in the woods.
You just survive the woods. You can't survive.
You can go up in a tree. We can find a way. Have y'all watched Naked and Afraid? Y'all can build some shit, man.
But they climb trees.
The Shoggoths were in the trees, bro. There was no place for them to go. They walked from the cabin where the car was.
Well, guess what? They gonna kill me.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I'm not going in that house with the white people.
I want to see 1955. I mean, what the hell?
So what y'all think about the first episode? Like feedback, like what was good, what was bad, anything.
I honestly loved the introduction. I loved from the onset. I came into it with an open mind. Now, when people come in with preconceived notions about shows like that, the first thing they want to think is, okay, there's going to be some sort of high drama. And unfortunately, when Black actors are cast in shows, that becomes the appearance or the suspected appearance. But I walked in this with an open mind and said, I know about Lovecraft lore. I know what this is all about, and let's go. Now, when I was part of the first screening, I was excited because I knew that there was going to be a supernatural element to it, but I didn't know to what extent. And then I see it. Now, mind you, I've watched this episode 3 times. And each time, that's how I know this is a good show. Each time I was not bored. I was not frustrated, and I was fascinated. And I found out something different every time. For instance, remember they mentioned that Montrose was met by a white guy in a silver sedan.
Mm-hmm.
That was mention 1. When Tick was walking back to the house, that silver vehicle was in an alley behind that, right in the town. That was 2. We saw it again for 3. And then when they get to the house, I was like, yo, come on. There are so many Easter eggs in this. And it was told so well. The pace will say it's slow. Like I say, well, if it goes too fast, you're not going to know about the characters. I like character development. You know, tell me who I'm rooting for. Tell me who I'm supposed to be disliking, you know. And they do it in a smart way. And I loved it. The first episode was brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said before, that the first episode was needed to establish everything: the tone, the characters, the time period, and then also kind of shake things around to like get you comfortable to think that, okay, this is just the story of a guy going on a simple journey. But then by the end of the episode, you realize that there's more than just the normal real life threats. There's like a mystical, magical side to it.
Yeah, I mean, it starts off with a boy coming home to find his missing father, and then he meets up with a girl that he used to be in a science club with back in the day. She looking at him kind of different. He looking at her kind of different. And then you can clearly see that something's going to happen between them. They go on a journey with his uncle, trying to find his dad, and they're met with not only racism but some mystical shit too. So I mean, I thought the first episode did pretty well. Like my impression, I thought it was slow at first, but like Rio said, like it was slow enough to have good character development. And then the last 15 minutes of the show pretty much had me on the edge of my seat. Like I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. You know, you can clearly see that the monsters in the show weren't actually the monsters of the show, but it was in fact the cops, the racist white townspeople in the show. And what's the name of the first show? I think the name of the first show was Sundown.
Yeah, first episode was Sundown.
Sundown, yeah. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I was on the edge of my seats, and I just couldn't wait for the second episode.
You had 2 seats?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 seats.
Just wondering. But yeah, I don't think it was slow at all. I think it was paced perfectly for the type of show. Well, the way I thought the show was going, I thought it was paced perfectly. Having 2 threats, supernatural and your everyday world, is totally perfect. I wanted it to stay that way, and then we got into episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 started out with the theme song from the Jeffersons, because they're in this mansion. Letty has a closet full of clothes that miraculously fits her to the T.
Well, I say don't go in white people's homes, everybody.
Yeah.
This is why, right here.
Uncle George has a room filled with books, his favorite books, from floor to ceiling. He's up there enjoying, having a time of his life, just reading books all day. But Atticus, he's having a PTSD moment. He's like remembering all the shit that happened in the woods, while these other 2 are pretty much having the time of their lives. He's up there sitting and trying to maintain his sanity that's left in him about what happened the previous night. And so they pretty much meet up, and Atticus questions them like, did you guys know what happened last night? And somehow these 2, they didn't remember what happened at all to them. Not being covered up in blood, not running away from monsters. I think at which point their memory loss stopped at when they encountered the sheriff. And I don't even know. Like, I guess, okay, so we later find out that it was because of the white girl that we saw in the first episode, which the actress name is Abby something. What is her last name?
Abby Lee.
Abby Lee, who plays Christina Breathwaite. Now, she has some mystical shit going on.
She got magic powers. She's a wizard.
Yeah. Wizard.
Grand wizard.
Oh, God. Her dad is a grand wizard.
Okay. We want to get that clear. They're wizards.
They're wizards.
Wizards.
I like how when they did encounter the Shoggoths, and when I said, well, they didn't remember. I said, oh, so there's a proximity charm on the Shoggoths. So anyone who encounters them, as soon as they go away, all that memory goes away. I was like, okay. Can you imagine doing that with someone in your life?
Rio would love that for his missions.
Just stop giving that man a hard time. Good grief.
No witnesses.
You save on bullets.
Rio, we don't know what the deal is. I don't know anything.
He's like, don't come for me. He knows nothing.
So while they're in this mansion, Montel, you know the guy that let him in, his name?
William.
So they meet up with William.
William Whitey.
William lets him know that Atticus is pretty much questioning William, like, where's the car? The car was totaled, and they meet up in the garage and find out that the car was not totaled. Like, all the dents and shit were pretty much fixed, except for this one portion in the back.
And the window was still busted.
Yeah, they didn't fix their window.
No, the window didn't.
Like, why didn't you fix my window, man?
That was before the proximity charm.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
that was when that's when they were getting shot at by the rednecks,
should have still fixed my window, man. You
Get
wouldn't do
out
all
of
that
here,
work.
you sons of bitches.
That's just expensive.
That's expensive, but everything else wasn't.
Just saying, if you're gonna fix all the dents, you might as well just fix my fucking window. Like, don't cheap out on me.
Well,
But then they would have started questioning.
ah.
I wouldn't. You fix my car. I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna leave.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So William tells them that they have guests coming over later that night, right? And they was it Uncle George asked them if Atticus was like, do we have free reign to look around or whatever? So William says, yeah, you can, go do whatever you want as long as you come back by nightfall. Because at nightfall, the creatures are about. So they end up going into town and they find this stone tower. This stone tower. And Uncle George is like, I forgot what he said, but he said that tower is basically used for prisoners as a jail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come to the conclusion that Montrose, Atticus' dad, is in there.
Because he made the observation that the it's a stone floor, it has a stone foundation,
Mm-hmm.
which means there is a dungeon, which means he's in there. So, and I just loved how they came to so many different levels of logic in this. Because any other show, people were like, well, I didn't realize that. George was on it. George was picking up every nuance you could think of.
Dog, I like how
George
this
could be into some kinky shit because I'm like, I know about these stone dungeons, man.
Yeah.
He
I
might
like
be
how
into some
this
kinky
is
stuff with his wife.
This just reminded me of a black Scooby-Doo mystery.
In this case, the dogs were against you.
Yeah, pretty much. So night falls.
Hey, yo, them dogs racist.
Yeah.
They saw black people and they was
started
like,
barking.
Kill him. See, I'm telling you, I know it. Dogs can see color, man. They lying.
Oh my goodness.
So night falls and they're walking in the woods and it's pretty much like dark or whatever. And shit starts to move underground. Letty is like, what the fuck is that? And all of a sudden the creatures just pop up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, before any of them could attack, they're stopped by Christina Breathright, who basically has a whistle to control the creatures. So she tells them that Atticus should go with her while the other two go back to the mansion or whatever. But in the process, while she blew the whistle, they start to forget everything that happened all over again. So Atticus is inside the mansion, and we get introduced to Christina's father, who's on the table, having his liver cut out of him while he's
Samuel Braithwaite. Mm-hmm.
still alive. And they use that liver later on that night to have some type of like
Cannibalistic meal.
biblical ceremony, which he basically compares himself to like Jesus Christ or whatever.
Yeah. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
So Atticus and Christina, they get to talking and they pretty much she explains everything that's happening. Their father, he's at Samuel, right?
Yeah, Samuel. Mm-hmm.
He basically he's a total dick.
That's the nicest way of putting it I've ever heard.
He's a total dick. He's basically like, I don't want to see our guests until the other guest arrives or whatever. So while Atticus is back inside his room or whatever.
He's the guy from Scandal, right?
He looks like the guy.
Was the president.
He was the president. Yeah. I was like, man.
Tony Goldwyn.
Why do I like this soothing voice? I know this man.
Yeah. So while Atticus is in his room, you can see the wards that are put up around his around the columns of the door.
Yeah.
When he tries to get out, and but he before that he made a deal with Christina, like release my friends or else I won't help you. So the moment she does that,
Letty and George.
Letty was the one screaming. She was screaming her lungs out.
They were both screaming.
Oh yeah,
they were both screaming.
They were both screaming because they pretty much remembered all the shit that just happened to them. Then later that night, some other weird shit start happening. Letty, she's pretty much freaking out in her room. Somebody's trying to come into her room, and come to find out it's Atticus, or we thought it was Atticus, but it was a hallucination
caused by the stained glass windows.
Yeah, because they was about to fuck, and all of a sudden, a snake comes out of Atticus' pants trying to kill Letty.
Yeah, that,
like literally.
Yeah, that black mamba.
But the thing is, there was a painting that we saw before that.
Stained glass.
Yeah, the stained glass. Yeah. And then you got George, Uncle George. He's in his room, and he sees his childhood friend, which is basically supposed Atticus' mom. So Montrose.
Oh, I didn't get that. Okay.
Yeah, because George pulled her picture out of his wallet when they were back at Letty's brother's house, and he was talking to Hippolyta and Diana on the phone. He put her comic book back in his billfold, but pulled out her picture. It's like, there's Dora. Oh, there's another layer to this.
Yeah. So there is I don't want to say three-way, but love triangle. There's a love triangle. There's a love triangle, right? And we kind of find out that Uncle George is in love with, Dora. And there was infighting between Montrose and George that we come to find out later on in the episode. So while doing all this, Atticus also he's hallucinating about the Korean girl that either he killed or he left behind. He left behind because he called that same girl back in episode 1 on the phone, and when she answered, he quickly hung up because we still don't know what the deal is between him and her and the war.
Right, and she spoke perfect English.
Mm-hmm. She told him, "You should have never gone back."
Really?
Now remember when they just moving forward, when they eventually came out of their room, and that's when Atticus said something bad happened in the war. I'm thinking what we saw was actually what happened. He had to fight a female Korean soldier.
True.
And
now there's another mystery there. Dun, dun, dun. Did he kill that girl, or
you know that Korean girl that he was fighting in that room was the same Korean girl that came out of the spaceship in episode 1.
The Martian?
Yeah.
The Martian chick. Yeah.
It sure was.
Yeah.
The magenta.
Been thinking about her for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
He loves magenta on your skin.
That's part of that dream. Hold on. Y'all do know that dream had a double meaning, right? That he was having. Can anybody guess? Go if y'all go back and watch. You know he was thinking about smashing her, right?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like dead serious. If you watch the beginning of the show again, all right, all the tentacles, he's fighting his war. He's trying to forget about it. She comes down. She's all up on him. Jackie Robinson comes down there. What's the quickest way? All right. I don't know if any of y'all have done this.
Oh, God.
But to get your mind straight and not think, about ladies or whatever you're into, you got to think about baseball. Baseball's the most boring thing to think about. and you going to go straight back down. See, y'all know what I'm talking about. Think about baseball.
This man is
you will be
wreck.
Perfectly fine.
You are a wreck, sir.
There you go.
It's true.
Leave
I
it
do
down.
it so. If you think about, hold on, Sam, does baseball get you excited?
First base, kissing. Second base, undressing.
That's what you think about when you think about baseball.
Different bases, man. Different bases.
You're silly. When you're with a woman and you think about baseball, it makes you want it more.
Depends who's holding the bat.
Oh fuck.
Okay, well, that's true. So I don't know what Sam's into. You're right. I don't know what he's into, so I can't judge. But for me, if I think about baseball,
I done seen baseball animes. I know how those turn out. Yeah.
That's the clip there, Alex.
That's a good soundbite.
Successfully made the clip.
but the way that she came out, like I thought. I mean, you saying that he wanted to smash her, but I thought she was basically like the representation of the Martian princess because he was reading The Princess from Mars.
Yeah, but he was thinking about her. You notice that it came down in her image, and as soon as she got up on him, and that Poom Poom monster was about to get him, Jackie Robinson came out of nowhere.
Poom Poom monster.
And just knocked it down. He was like, "Hey man, this is how you keep your life focused.
Oh,
Think about baseball. It works every time. I promise you."
So
now that I'm thinking about that, I'm going to be thinking about that today. It's like,
watch that scene again. I'm telling you.
Poon from the sky.
Wow.
Poon from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Damn it.
So while all this shit's going on, like they come out of their rooms, but before that, they were pretty much being observed by the guests that were already there that were supposed to come at night. They're looking through some sort of magic portal or whatever. Looking at
their entertainment.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah, I will admit that was the one part when they revealed that they were watching them and using them as entertainment. I did not like that part. I was like, I didn't understand what the purpose of it was. I felt like them kind of trying to manipulate them or throw them off of their game without using them as entertainment was enough. But when it revealed that they were like watching them, especially the situation between Atticus and Lydia, I was like, that's kind of creepy that they would, put her in that kind of position before they have their dinner that women aren't allowed to.
Yeah, which is a good point you brought up because the dinner that they are invited into, women aren't allowed to join it because it's pretty much a boys' club.
Sausage fest.
Yeah. Okay. While Uncle George was in his room, he uncovered a secret book room, library.
That library was massive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then on the table, it was a book about the Order of I don't know if you remember Montel.
Order of the Ancient Dawn.
Yeah. So that's pretty much their order. And he basically read through that book. It's a very short book.
It's their bylaws. It basically gives every rule on everything. It's like being a part of the Masons or any type of lodge. These bylaws tell you how to conduct yourself and how to conduct business and everything.
Yeah. So Uncle George gets up and says that, we didn't want to be here. So he gets up, gives this like great monologue about Freemasons and their bylaws and shit like that. And come to find out, Atticus is part of their lineage. And he's like, anybody that's part of the is it like what's the name of the first Braithwaite, right?
Braithwaite, yeah, Braithwaite.
Yeah, the Braithwaite family. They can give orders and everybody has to obey or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he reveals this and Atticus stands up and he's like, I want everybody except for Uncle George and Sam to get the fuck out. Now, all these white people are just pretty much looking at him.
Like, I know this nigger ain't giving me no goddamn orders.
Yeah, they're all haughty about it.
So he walks up to this one dude at the table and just stands there and looks down at him. And this one dude was like, okay, let me just get the fuck out. Then everybody starts to get up and they pretty much get out.
I don't care what you say. When you have a brother that is mad at everything and he's me mugging you, you gonna move. You gonna move. You gonna do something. I don't care. And they all looked at him like, this nigger's angry. We need to leave.
Well, except for William, because William's like, good show, old chap. And he just turns around and walks out with a smile on his face. So Atticus tells Sam to basically, I want you to release my father. So they go down to the prison, and they're pretty much trying to look for his father. And again, here comes Uncle George with all these like fun facts, and he remembers the Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm.
So they start looking at the walls, and they pull out a brick, and they figured out that Atticus' dad pretty much dug a tunnel to reach the outside.
He's a damn Pokemon. Motherfucker used dig and got the hell out of there.
Damn sure did.
So he gets out. His father gets out, and he's up there like getting out like Rita Repulsa, just coming out of nowhere. And then he turns around. His brother's there, Atticus is there, and Letty's there. And then his father's like, "What the fuck y'all doing here?"
And then it's revealed that his daddy is Omar.
Yeah, from The Wire.
What the hell? Okay.
Oh my god!
As soon as I saw him, I said, "Oh shit, Omar, he's still alive."
Yeah, who's played by Michael Kenneth Williams?
I thought that scene was hilarious when he digs out. He's like, and his hands are cuffed in the air, and he turns around. Hey, Montrose. I'm like,
What the
damn,
fuck y'all
baby.
doing here?
You could have just went out the. Never mind. You
Yeah.
dirty now. You mad because you dirty.
And it was revealed that he basically wrote that letter in duress. Yeah.
Damn, he didn't care about his
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, it was
write
like,
that letter. You write that letter in duress. You know somebody's going to pay attention to it. If you end up missing,
yeah, he was like,
True.
it's like I didn't want to write that letter. Like I haven't seen my son in 8 years. You think I wanted to see him now?
Bad daddy.
Yeah.
listen, nigga, your son just went through hell to get to you. The only thing you can worry about is your ego.
Went through hell and went through the whole pacing of the Scooby mystery just to find your ass.
Not a damn Scooby snack in sight, and your ass is mad. Are you? Get the fuck out of here with that. Come on.
I mean, that's that black rage, man. It doesn't, you can't let it go.
I tell you, come find me.
So they end up going to the car to try to get the fuck out of here. And while everybody's in the car, once they try to cross that bridge,
Those
they
rooms.
they slam into a invisible wall.
Yay.
Everybody's hurting. So Atticus gets out, and then we see Samuel and his daughter on the other side of the bridge, and his father gets out, and his Uncle George gets out. No, first Letty gets out, and then he shoots her in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And then when his father and uncle gets out, Samuel gave him a choice between his father and his uncle. And we come to find out that,
Come to find out that she lied about the shooting and she sent the police on a wild chase. Just like her brother.
so Christina started everything. She put everything in motion. I feel like she has a underlying agenda herself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's a question I want to ask everybody. If you were given that choice of who's to get shot and who wasn't between Uncle George and Montrose and your take, who would you pick?
Montrose. Uncle George was a good character. We just got introduced to this guy, so I don't really care about him.
Yeah, plus Montrose didn't have anything to go back home to.
He did have something to go back home to. A bottle of whiskey.
Problems. That's what he had to go back to. Problems. That's what he had.
A bottle of whiskey and his gun.
Which wasn't at home anymore. I
So-
would say Montrose too. I agree with you because
Yeah.
George has proven himself as a character to be rich and deep and you want to know more and watch him explain and understand stuff.
Exactly. He was like our guide through that world.
Yeah.
And then you just kill him off.
He was the Green Book for us.
Yeah. The scene, my favorite scene of that episode was when they all come out of their rooms and Uncle George was the one who he was stronger than the spell.
Mm-hmm.
And when he embraced the other two and told them that like everything was going to be like okay, I thought that scene was powerful. That really established his character as like the heart of the show. And we'll go a little bit further. The other thing that I also want to point out was her name's Lydia.
Letty.
Letty. When Letty gets shot and she falls on the ground, that was some good acting because she fell between that car door.
Didn't she look awkward?
Yes, I was like, I don't know how she held that because, and I mean, she played off dying real well.
That would have fucked my back up.
Yeah.
Pay me extra for that crap.
Yeah, but Karen, moving on.
Yeah, I would have to go with Montrose too, man. I don't know. I don't know. But we come to find out from Montrose, not Montrose, Uncle George, that Atticus might not be Montrose's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. Another piece to that particular picture that was put in place. Again, the Easter eggs in this show are mind-blowing.
Yeah. Like, to go through all that and then find out that your son might not be your son, that's some...
Well, that's oh, no, I want my money back then.
Yeah.
I don't care if you do got a bullet in you. Said you never talk about this again. Why are you angry, bro? You dug out the ground and you still mad? Your brother shot on the bed. You still mad?
Yeah.
See, this is where you want to bring a ball bat in and keen him across the back of his skull. Like, shut the fuck up, okay?
Like, I thought we fucking talked about this a long time ago. Why you bring this shit up again? But so then after that, Atticus has gone with Samuel, and they pretty much started this whole fucking ritual. Because basically, what Sam's trying to do is create a doorway
to the Garden of Eden.
To the Garden of Eden, yep. In search of immortality.
Well, if you read the Bible, you would know that immortality is not a thing. It's like literally in the book. So yeah. You're using people as a battery for absolutely no reason.
Yep. But so basically, he used Atticus as a battery to open the doorway, and in doing so, we see a glimpse of an ancestor related to Atticus.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name, but she was the one
who burnt down the mansion, the original one.
Yeah, she was the one that escaped the mansion while pregnant, right? And what was the founder's name? His first name?
Are you talking about
Breathwaite?
Titus.
Yeah. So Uncle George said that Titus was notorious for being nice to his slaves.
That's like a contradiction.
Yeah. So if you're nice to your slaves, then why is one of your slaves running to burn down your house?
If you were nice to your slaves, you wouldn't have slaves.
Mm-hmm.
That's the contradiction. Notoriously nice to my slaves.
Yeah.
To the people you own.
Yeah,
that's pretty nice. Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's literally what it is.
Yes, you were overly nice, you asshole.
Yeah. So while this portal is, being created, it breaks down for some reason, and all of a sudden,
too many white people around. That's why I broke down.
Yeah, there's a shockwave that's being released from Atticus' body. It was released from his body, then everybody around him turned into stone. Everybody in that room turned into stone. The whole mansion started to crumble.
They ain't have enough melanin in their skin. That's what
oh, shit. Stop.
That's what happened.
Stop.
He ain't turned to stone. If you ain't had no melanin, you turned to stone.
Where's the melanin at? I don't know. I was trying to get it this morning with breakfast.
That's probably why he's trying to open up the Garden of Eden. He's trying to get some melanin in his skin.
Oh,
Go on
Trying to get a
vacation.
nice tan. Yeah.
oh my God.
There are so
probably
many
what it
tropes
was.
in this show too. So many tropes. And what's funny is if you think about it, a lot of the tropes that I saw could be related to now. For instance, of course, the scene where they're in their individual rooms and they have their own visions of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at the one with Letty and Tick. So we think. And then he pulls out his pants and you see the snake come out. Now, how many
Snake
times have we been hearing about, well, a black man, you know, he's well endowed. He got like an anaconda, da 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 da. And I just
Yeah,
throw it.
Plantain Poppy right here.
Yeah, it's
SF
like,
Designs.
this is what we doing. We're gonna throw us. Yeah, come on.
What? It's true. That's his nickname. It's Plantain Poppy.
But that's the mind of Jordan Peele and Misha Green. They nailed this, man. They were making sure they dropped every little gem you could. It's in itself became a scavenger hunt.
Basically, you have to watch these episodes at least 3 to 4 times to.
Oh yeah, to find every little thing.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah. Like I watched the episode 1 a third time, and I just noticed the silver car outside of I want to say apartment,
that's what
his apartment.
Montel was saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And like you, I watched it a third time. I think I watched it again last night, and I was like, "Son of a bitch!" It was sitting right there. So there were 4 times we saw this car in the entire show, and 3 of them were integral. And well, we heard of it once, but we've seen it 3 times. Because that's when they had mentioned earlier about, well, what happened to your father? Well, we saw he was talking to a white guy outside of a silver sedan.
yeah. I remember them talking about it. Yeah,
And then they were gone. Not was gone, they were gone. So this is a scavenger hunt. I'm looking forward to Sundays now. Again, it's the first time in years I'm looking forward to Sundays.
Yep. And I mean, the episode pretty much ended with, like, I guess the seemingly death of Uncle George.
yeah. Okay, now I gotta talk about one gripe I have. Now
Wait.
the way
Just
the
one?
show,
Just one?
yeah, just 2. Uncle George being dead. That's the second one. That was disappointing because he was a great part of the show. First gripe is, well, it was what I wanted the show to pretty much be. So I guess it's more of a personal thing, right? So the first episode, right, was great to me because it pretty much was like, all right, you're in this day and age of you got to deal with racism and all this other crap, but then you also got to deal with monsters and all this other crap. So I'm like, okay, that's like a cool contrasting balance. So I was thinking that I was going to get multiple episodes of them going on adventures like that before we got to this episode. So I felt like going from that episode to this episode was like this really fast jump without giving us some like time in between to lead up to it. I felt like that second episode was more like an ending to a season 1 of something like that. It wasn't a bad episode, but I feel like it should have been placed in a different spot and let us find out about his lineage, like over time throughout the other episodes. Like, give us more clues and hints to things, and like more, like you were saying, like the Scooby-Doo mysteries. Give us more of that for a while, and then give us this episode. That was my only problem with it, really. It's like it just went from, we're at a 2, and now let's go to 11 immediately. That was my only thing.
And I feel you on that one because, I mean, you told me, it's like, did you watch episode 2 yet? I was like, no, not yet. Man, you said that the pacing was kind of off. It was too fast.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like that episode should have been in that place. I feel like we should have got more of the design of episode 1 a couple more times with, new creatures appearing, new different mysteries they have to solve, finding out more clues about his father. Like, I didn't expect to see his father episode 2. Like, that was fast.
Yeah. Maybe like episode 3.
Not even
Because-
then. I mean, like, make that a thing with the show where it's like, oh my God, he's trying to find his dad. And we go on the adventure of him trying to find his dad for a couple more episodes. They run into more crazy white racist people. And some of those crazy racist white people happen to be a part of that, magical lodge or whatever. So, you start getting tidbits that draw you into the last one. Like everything comes together into this second episode. I think that would have made it better.
And you know what? The thing is I partially agree with you, Alex, because I like you said, that episode felt like the last episode of a season.
Yeah,
it really did. But at the same time, I like that they're going against the conventional
structure,
yes, of a show. So I like, depending on how episode 3 goes, we'll establish whether episode 2 was right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, where their adventure is going to lead them now, because are they going to go back to Chicago and tell Uncle George's wife, and the little girl, are they going to have trouble getting back to Chicago? Is that going to be the next part of the arc or whatever?
I mean, based off of and this is why with a show like this, I try not to watch previews of the next episode.
Yeah,
because I don't want it to get I don't want that preview to give anything away. But I mean, it seems like a lot of shit's gonna happen. Like it's between
a lot of shit better happen
between Hippolyta,
Hippolyta,
between Letty and the townspeople that she's in. Like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna pop off.
It's interesting to see where the show, even just 2 episodes, has had an impact on everybody who's watched it. I have not had a dissenting review from anybody who's watched this show thus far. The character development, the story, the pace, the tone, and just the mystery of where it's going, because there's no one direction that you're going to go with this. It goes in several directions. It's like you get on the interstate and you have these multiple lanes. They're all going in the same direction, but they're traveling at different speeds. So my question is, what's next? Mm-hmm. What are we going to see? Oh my gosh. I can't remember the last time I was this excited. And I watch anime and I'm always excited. So this one's really got me hyped.
So I feel like the girl, the blonde-haired girl, she's gonna play a larger role, because remember, feels slighted because as a woman she could never have that ring.
She can't be officially a part of that society. Yeah.
She mentioned that later on in that episode, like, because when Atticus just showed up, he was like, you showed up and you automatically get the ring, while I've been in this family for this long and I just can't join the boys club because I'm not a boy.
Right. And I feel like she's gonna come back into play. I feel like the guy.
Welcome to discrimination.
The guy who answered the door, he's probably gonna come back into play as well, because I don't remember seeing him die.
Oh yeah, no.
William jetted.
Yep. Yeah, William. He ain't stupid. Yeah. Remember, he ain't the butler. He ain't going down with the shit.
And I feel like the sister, or not the sister, she called Atticus uncle at one point.
Oh, in an really? Episode.
Yes.
Shit, now I gotta watch this shit all over again.
Hold on, who called Atticus uncle?
Christina, the white girl, called Atticus uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
She did.
Oh, that's some weirdo shit.
Again, man. There are so many Easter eggs in this show.
So he got some white descendants?
Yeah.
Atticus is the last black blood. His last blood relative of that line. That's why he was chosen to be a part of that ceremony.
What?
Right. So Titus, the guy in the painting with the black hood, I guess he was like the original magician or wizard or whatever.
Wizard.
Yeah.
He loved his slaves. The slave who led Atticus out of the house was pregnant.
Yep.
Hello.
So that
Emma.
girl would be the blonde-haired girl who was the daughter of the Samuel, would be his niece.
Put that shit together, Rio. Put that shit together.
So she's probably gonna teach Atticus how to be a wizard.
Oh
And
shit!
and
Black
since
wizard?
he's like
He gonna put a hood on?
That's
Come on, man.
If they put a hood on him, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh my gosh!
If this
got-
motherfucker does a Spelliamus, I'm out.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean like one of them hoods. I ain't talking about that hood.
Now, of course, these are all my assumptions. That's how I feel.
But
the
your theory
direction
is sound
of
spot
the show.
on.
Yeah, it's a good
going.
theory. It's a good theory.
But yeah, so I feel that could be season 1, and then once he learns to become a wizard, then the threats will ramp up. Of course.
Yeah, of course. You can't be a hero and not have existential threats coming at you.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, man. I don't want him to do no magic though. I like them.
Black magic.
Yeah, I kind of like them with the pistol.
Maybe the magic is in him. It just needs to come out
Through the pistol.
of the pistol.
Yep.
Yeah,
Magic
yeah,
bullets.
No, but see, that's kind of
Unlimited ammo. That could be the pip. That could be the power. Got a cheat code.
Oh, shut up.
Oh my gosh! Really?
That could be it. I'm okay with that if they just put in up, down, left, right, X, triangle, square, real quick.
Stop it.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
God bless America.
Ain't no place else.
Now, here's another thing. If you guys think back to episode 1, when Atticus first meets up with Uncle George and he talks to him he says that, his father went to go and find out about his lineage. Uncle George because the camera's on him and Atticus is in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You can see on Uncle George's face that he's kind of concerned about that. And Uncle George also kind of threw himself into the adventure. He was like, well, I'm going to take you. I'm going to go with you and be with you on this adventure.
So he clearly knows something.
Yes. I feel like what he knew is deeper than what he let on.
Yes.
Because he probably had more conversations with Atticus's mother about where they came from and what his ability is and so on and so forth.
Okay, Rio, we're assigning you as the official putting movies and TV shows together person. You're the guy.
I told you when I watch something, I watch it all the way.
If you guys remember when Uncle George was hallucinating and dancing with Dora, she literally said that you guys have a chance to literally fly, actually fly.
You can fly with your children.
Yeah. So basically, she's saying that, stick with this journey a little bit longer and you guys might uncover some sort of power or something. And it might be laying dormant in Atticus. We don't know. But something she literally just said something about magic being real. So who knows what else we're going to see.
I'm going to be a man for a moment, but Dora had a fat ass.
Yeah,
she did.
She did.
That was in Virginia Beach. That's Mount Trashmore. I was like, great day in the morning. Okay. All right. There was hope. I was making sure there wasn't no flat booty black women back then in the day. I was like, okay.
Yep. Can't do that. Don't do that to us.
Go ahead, Dora the Explorer. Yeah, she was exploring.
I couldn't even hear Sam's wow. He was just like, wow. He was just saying it so gentle.
Nah. I'm excited to see what's going on the rest of the season. I'm literally excited about this Black Scooby-Doo mystery.
If it stays the Scooby-Doo mysteries.
I feel like it is because there is going to be some.
Well, it's about to go into some Grand Wizard shit.
Yeah.
So.
Oh fuck.
Nigga about to be fucking a real magical KKK member. So God bless it.
Yeah, I guess my only concern through all of this, we're going to be meeting. I'm sure we're going to be meeting new characters along the way and establishing things. But my question is, are we going to get somehow in this show? It shows you that mortality is relative.
Yep.
Because Letty was killed. She came. They brought her back. Is
And
Uncle
then
George
killed
truly
Papa.
dead? Is he truly dead?
He
Have we
did.
really lost him? Can we get rid of Montrose? Because I don't like that fool.
Well, they didn't have time to basically heal him because he was still bleeding out.
True, but Christina and William probably got away. And Christina knows more than she's letting on. I'm pretty sure she would have a way of bringing him back.
Maybe if they would have ate that liver,
Oh, goodness.
Oh, shut up.
could have kept his ass alive. I hear liver's good for you.
See, I'm not the only one that had that same thought. Like, man, come on, man.
You never know.
Yeah, it was funny when
And it's
when-
wizard liver. It's got to have some magic powers.
it was funny when that plate hit the table and Atticus was like, "Don't eat that shit."
He was like, "Don't eat that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't eat that shit.
He
But look,
said
though.
wizard liver.
It is. That's what it is. It's wizard liver.
That's like a Dungeons and Dragons reference. He's like, you must eat of the wizard liver in order
Yeah,
to
exactly.
spell.
You get 3 mana for eating wizard liver.
Oh shit.
Oh, great. If y'all play
But-
Magic the Gathering out there and listen to this, no, it's not a thing.
As I don't know, as it would kind of be backtracking to bring Uncle George back. I would not have a problem if they did, because, like I said earlier, he is the heart of the show. Like his acting, his dialogue, his character, just overall was he was the moral compass.
Hmm.
You know, like he kept, because the two main characters, or the two younger main characters, Atticus and Letty, they are still headstrong. They're young, and
Yeah.
he slowed them down in episode 1 and 2 in situations where they needed to stop and really
And
like
listen, he's the
Yes.
glue. He's the glue. When they
he's
start
the glue.
drifting off, he starts pulling them back together like, hey, we got to figure this out. We got to do this. And they do have good ideas, and he helps bring their ideas to like a singular goal and help them move forward.
right. And the show's going to be drastically different without that,
Yeah, exactly.
because Montrose can't fill those shoes.
No, he cannot.
No.
Yeah, and
Unless he gets his shotgun back and starts walking down the street whistling. Then I'ma love that shit. If he does that shit, oh my coming, woo! I'm gonna be tuning in every week.
nah, like Uncle George is literally the father figure for Atticus.
Mhm.
Atticus lost his only father figure. I mean, he has his own dad or whatever, you know, tough love and shit. That don't
That ain't
work.
tough love.
That-
Not contacting me. Period.
I'm away in the war.
That's called
And I'm
abandonment.
serving the army, and you can't write me a letter, but you're gonna go to your brother and ask him about what's going on.
But you know what? His father didn't want him to go to that war because he didn't want him to serve a country that wouldn't recognize him as a human being.
Man, I don't think his father wanted him. The way he acted, I don't think he wanted him.
Listen, come to find out, it might not even be his kid. So
Well, that makes it even worse.
Hashtag Uncle George is my dad.
Exactly. And I gotta take care of your ass on top of that. You know how much fucking Similac costs? Out your goddamn mind.
back then, it's probably like 10 cents.
No, okay, nigga. You know how much 10 cent was back then? Exactly.
10
10
cent was 50 cent.
Exactly.
Shit.
All
50
right,
cent
you
was a
wish.
bank robbery.
Yeah.
That was a bank robbery.
Wow.
You stole that
50
money.
cent
didn't
was a bank
you? No,
robbery.
sir. I was working in the stable.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So
I got some for it, but this whole podcast will be shut down. As
yeah, nah.
I
So
will shut this shit down.
yeah, we're gonna conclude this shit right now.
Exactly.
So we want to thank you, Montel, for coming on and giving us some insight on H.P. Lovecraft. We want to have you back for episode 3 and further on if you're willing to do that.
I would be honored, and I definitely want to have you guys on my podcast too. I think you cats would make this so freaking hilarious. I would love to have y'all on my Blurcorn Speaks podcast.
Oh, one question though. Are we allowed to say nigga?
Are you kidding me? Ain't nothing but it is a black casting crew. What else is we gonna say?
Okay, because
All
I
right.
say nigga a lot.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
I can't help it.
I don't say that.
He says N words.
He says it internally.
Yeah, he do be saying it internally. I know you do. Nah, you
No,
like
no.
man. Man, these motherfucking niggas, if they don't
Make
talk
Nah.
to me, I'm in the military.
Holy cow!
Now, when you see his nose scrunch up like that, like he's saying nigga on the inside.
When he's drunk, or when we say he's in the military, he's like, if these motherfuckers don't, if these niggas don't stop saying I'm in the military.
I cannot. But yes, you can.
Look, he's saying it right now. Goddamn niggas keep talking about I'm in the military.
Oh golly!
He's doing it.
This man is a universal soldier right here.
See, nigga. Like 3 more niggas just went in his head. He's trying to hold it down. That's why he closes his eyes like,
Nigga.
Rio, don't do it.
Control
Don't
the
give in,
niggas.
man. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna give in.
all right.
All right. Well, Montel, if you can give us your social so everybody can
And let
follow
everybody know
you
what you're doing.
and your podcast.
Absolutely. I can be reached on Instagram and Twitter as Navy Montel. My podcast is called Blurticorn Speaks. We release new episodes every Sunday. It's myself and Angie. We talk about the same things you guys talk about from the older Blur standpoint. But we're across all. We're like on Anchor across all the platforms. But I am easily accessible through Instagram and through Twitter mostly, and email is blurticornspeaks@gmail.com, and also Blurticorn Speaks across all platforms as well. Feel free to reach out and support the small podcasters, small black podcasters.
Yeah.
All right, Rio.
What are you up to other than being in bed?
Yeah. You catch me sleeping now. You can check out the photography on Instagram at Griffin_studios, and my gaming stuff on Twitter at Rio_Griffin. And that's it for now until Alex starts our Twitch.
Yeah,
Hurry up.
it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming. I got the email notifications.
Give me something.
You can follow me, SF Design 21 on all platforms. If you want to see titties and booties, just follow sf.boudoir on Instagram.
All right. And make sure you guys are following. Everybody gets one on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter by just doing that little @ symbol and typing in everybody gets 01. Also, we are now on Twitch as Ego Podcast on Twitch. So you guys can just follow us there. You know,
Great.
why not?
A follow, great, thanks.
Yeah, I know. Brand new follow. And new YouTube episodes are coming out streaming. So, you know, go out there and listen to all that.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Bye, niggas.
Bye, everybody.
Deuces.